Welcome to Kicking It Local, the podcast all about the football community in South Australia. I'm your host, Johnny Kecko. And before we get into today's episode, I'd like to kick it all off by saying a big thank you to all the supporters and listeners of this podcast for being there and helping support this podcast through its first year. And what a year it's been. And I'm so proud to finally share with you that this podcast, Kicking It Local, is a finalist for Best Sports Podcast in the Australian Podcast Awards for 2022, powered by iHeart. It's an absolute honour to be nominated in a category which was last year won by Optus Sports Football Belongs podcast. So please keep an eye on my socials in the coming weeks to find out how Kicking It Local goes in this year's nominations. Now let's get straight back into my chat, part 2 with Alex Mullen, the Sergio Medalist winner. And if you haven't listened to part 1 already, make sure you go back and listen now. Otherwise, here is a quick refresher.
Firstly, my brother, he was, as a junior, I think he hit puberty at like 11 or 12 or something. So people used to call him like a man-child. So he was just a big, strong unit, really successful in his junior days. Played for the Joeys, under 17 Joeys, and did really well. Had a few trials overseas and things. So he was looking like he was going to do really, really big things. And he still did do big things, especially at the local level. And if you don't hold a 2.2 GPA, you're ineligible to play. So we had guys from Colombia, Brazil, Scotland, England, all over the world, right? And they're just here to play soccer. Yeah. So it was a constant struggle to get these guys above a 2.1 or whatever it was, just to be able to play. So we had boys doing their homework, in the study hall together, trying to get their GPAs up, just so we could get the best team out there on the weekend.
2022 was a great year for your team, Campbelltown City, coming so close to another grand final against the eventual champions in Adelaide City. How was that for you, especially after a great season overall?
Yeah, it was. It was disappointing, Johnny. It was it was a funny season because the spotlight was on Adelaide City. We felt all year they beat us twice. They were doing this great, fantastic run in the Australia Cup, and they were first the whole year. So the spotlight was very much on them the whole year. But when you really strip it back, we felt like we had a really good chance, because I think they ended up finishing on 51 points, and we ended up finishing on 50, so only 1 point shy. So we really backed ourselves if we could get into that grand final, to hopefully kind of give it a bit of a shake. But it was disappointing, and that's what finals footy's all about. It's do or die, and unfortunately on that day against Comets on that night, it just didn't happen for us. So yeah, disappointing, but again, that's football and should provide a bit of fuel for next year, hopefully.
Well, it's a promising year because it was under the coach of Michael Matriciani.
Yeah,
he's a proven NPL coach, but the season prior he was in the State League 2 coaching, so it's a massive jump from. I know he's already been at that level, but he went back to State League 2 and then has come back to NPL in that first year. He's got the club to being second place and only one step away from a grand final in his first year back in the NPL. At a new club. What was it like being coached under a player like him, who's a great player in his own right as well back in the day?
Yeah, great player and a great coach too. Yeah, I think he's got a lot of potential to do really big things in that space. But I played against Michael as a player. He's a prolific goal scorer. But when they announced he was going to be the coach, it was like, okay. Wow, I only know him as as an opponent or a player. But as soon as he came in, just the passion he has for the game just really resonated with me, and I know, just the way he thinks about the game, he just loves it. And that shines through what he's learnt about the game and how much time he spends through it and how much game analysis he does. A lot of people would say it's overkill, but I just see it as passion, and I just love it. I think it's great in terms of how much how much work he's willing to put into to be the best he can possibly be.
how did he fit in very easily at the club in his first year back at the club?
Yeah, very. He's like a club legend. He played there for numerous. He's a Campbelltown boy. So I think he won. I think he was part of the group that won it in 13. I think. But yeah, I mean, he's a well-known face in those club rooms. So yeah, it's quite. I imagine. I'm not sure exactly from his side, but it seemed like it was pretty seamless.
You talked a little bit about the people behind the club that have been there for a long time, the volunteers and all that. What's it like at Campbelltown? Because when I came down there for the first time, so I don't venture out to all those clubs in that in the far side of the city. I'm a Western boy, but I'm slowly getting out to every other club now, which is great, and I'm seeing different cultures and different environments. And one thing I noticed about your club on a Friday night before that preliminary final is that there's families there hanging out on a Friday night, watching the juniors train, and then it's got a very good family environment down there at the club. Italian background, and that's where I've grown up in the Italian background. So it seems like it's a very family-orientated club. What's, from your point of view as a player, senior player, what's it been like at that club?
Yeah, great. I think it's the best thing about Campbelltown. I think any player that has been at Campbelltown would have the same, thoughts that you just explained then. Yeah. It's just a sense of just being all together, a family, and being hospitable to is that a word? I don't know how to pronounce it, but to opponents, and always putting on dinner, and trying to be the best they can is something that Campbelltown have always done. Really, I think. Yeah, it just gives you a strong sense of pride, really. Even being a Campbelltown player, I feel part of the club. I feel like I want to give back because I see so many people giving back themselves. It makes you want to do it as well. So, really special place, and again, it's just so fortunate to be part of it. It's
when I went there, it was everything you think a local football club should be. When you look at clubs in Sydney and Melbourne, you got that those old clubs, the Italian clubs, the Greek clubs, the Serbian clubs, and they've got that real cultural feel to them. And I think Campbelltown is a club that has that in South Australia, and I think that's really great. And what's the vibes like with all the families and the Italian background and the heritage there? What's it been like there for you to fit in? Do you enjoy being part of that kind of environment?
Yeah. I've loved it. Like my mum's German and my dad's English, right? So the whole Italian environment was new for me. But it's something like I've picked up so many little things from just being around that kind of culture and how they do things. I still have a beer on a Thursday night. They're all drinking their sparkling waters, but I've still kind of kept that tradition. But they just like to do things with quality, I think. Quality and all together, and no one misses out, and it's always a case of giving, and that's what makes them so strong, I think.
And what's the difference, like with all the clubs you've been at over the years, that this club has compared to all the others?
I think it's the volunteers. I think. I know a lot of clubs struggle for volunteers, like most clubs really, but Campbelltown's a club where people just love doing it. They are always there. We've got I mentioned his name before, we've got a volunteer Chick, his name is, but he's basically announced his retirement like 6 or 7 times since I've been there, and just still comes back. He just can't get away, because it's, again, what we were saying before, like it's community, it's their sense of belonging. They belong to that environment. So I think that's what they do the best. Just being a big family.
Well, this year wasn't a successful one for the club, or it could be successful in some people's eyes. You managed to get so close to another grand final, and you finished second on the ladder. But for yourself, it was a very successful one, because you took out the Sergio Medalist medal. What was it like for you to be able to take that out?
It was good. It was pretty special, really. I didn't really expect it that to be the winner. I think I was injured for a couple of weeks, and I knew I had a bit of a look up at the other players. I knew Josh Murray had a real stellar season. So it was a great night. To have my dad there to see that was probably more important to me than anything. Just because he's been there the whole journey, and he's been the one that's driven me everywhere, and given me the opportunity to be good at be good at it. So to have him there, my brother was also there on the Mobby Jets table. That was the most special thing about it, I think.
Did you ever have a sense that it was coming? Because you said you weren't expecting it, but did you have a sense at some point throughout the night that it was going to go your way? Because going into it, I was one to tip you as the winner, but there was a lot of the two that it was going to be was either you or Maury were the two tipped to take it out, and I think Alan Welsh was brought into the mix with some people's views as well. So you were part of the top three to going into the night, but yourself, everyone always says, "Oh, I never expected I was going to win." But did you ever have the feeling at some point throughout the night that you were going to take it out?
I think. Look, after 10 rounds, when they put that board up, the update, I think, oh wow, like I'm 15 points. That was like, wow, I need to slow down the drinking a bit, because who knows. But I think after the 10th round, I knew I had some games to miss after that. So I still thought, people would, obviously catch up a little bit. But then, towards the end of the count back, I seemed to pick up points, and that's when I saw my dad getting a bit antsy in front of me. So I thought, oh wow, I might take this out maybe. So,
I think Jason, I think it was, Constantopoulos was creeping up. He was at the top for a bit, and that was out of nowhere. A team that finished third to bottom. It's not the first time it's happened, because we had the year prior, the Wooden Spooners got McCabe taking it out. But that was a shock to see him up. But then right at the last minute, you managed to overtake it and get finish it all off. Yeah. After taking it out, what was the moment like with your father when you finally got back to the table and share that moment with him?
Yeah, it was nice. I think it was special, really. Like my dad doesn't really, after games or before games, we don't really talk much football. It's just kind of like, it's just kind of the two things, like don't get injured, don't get a yellow card type of thing. So just to see him, really proud, and just to be there with him, to win that was special. Yeah, just not just for us, but for the whole family, I think.
Yeah. If I won something that prestigious, I would never let go of the thing. I would hold on to it forever. You did a little bit different, and you left it there at the end of the night.
I know. Yeah.
I actually got a photo with it. I don't know how I did, but at some point at the night, you left it behind. Matt Mays from Football South Australia found it. And he was holding on to it with his life. But I somehow got a photo with it as well. So I think it did the rounds for a bit, and everyone was making out they were the Sergio Medalist winner for the night.
Yeah. I guess I just forgot that, I reckon. I had the medal around me, but I didn't know about the trophy or whatever. So, no, thanks Matty Mays for looking after that for me, mate. It's
but now, have you got it on the trophy up on the wall or in a good place yet, or are you going to wait?
I've got it at home. Yeah, I've got it at home in the study somewhere. Yeah, so, yeah.
What was the night like afterwards? Did you just enjoy the rest of the night? Was it a blur afterwards because you just, after winning something like that, it's that big?
No, we went to the casino. I like, that's one of the big things I like doing after the night is, people not just from your club, from everyone. We went to the casino, had a couple of drinks with some players from other clubs, and then spent some more time with the family and the committee members at Campbelltown, and it was a good night.
The celebration of football, it's my second year going in 2022, but it's a great night. I loved it. For yourself as a player, how important is nights like this to celebrate the football community as a whole?
Yeah, it's great. It's really special, isn't it? I think I've been to a couple, and they've only really gotten better and better over the years, I think, just in terms of putting a really good show on, the highlights and all the technology they do now. But I think the biggest thing I like about the night is everyone's finished with their competition. You get a chance to talk to players and other people that you're not affiliated with on the week to week. And it's just nice to kind of just talk to them and see how they found the year and what they do, and talk to them away from football a little bit. Yeah. But also just seeing like for instance, my dad was there, and they announced the Hall of Famers at the start, and he knew those players and those people that were getting the Hall of Fame honor or whatever. and I just think that's wicked. I think like that's what it's all about, you know. Like at the end of the day, soccer's just like it's just a vehicle just to all get together and you know, do something that brings us all closer. And the fact that like my dad knows those people, like I look forward to those days, like playing against so and so or playing for so and so, or you know, like those memories are, you know, will always stay with me. So that's why I really like those nights more so than anything, I think.
It is great to acknowledge it. I've only been involved in the NPL and all that only for a short period, but to see that moments like that is great, because I've been to a few other awards nights and this is something different. The way it's put together, it's all about celebrating the local community, and it's very different, and I find it more enjoyable than some other ones that it's all about the awards, and it's very different. I don't know how to put it, but it feels different. But it also could come down to the people that are there as well, that are invited to the night, because I think the community within football, which is something I'm learning through this podcast, is very different to all the other sports.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the biggest thing with that is it's secondary, right? Like we all have jobs, we all have lives away from football. So, you know, I think probably with the A-League or, you know, we're talking off air about AFL and stuff, like with their nights, it's their bread and butter. Like they earn a living out of the game. So we want to be there, if that makes sense. It's something that we love doing away from our jobs.
What's like some of those people there are real estate agents as their full-time role, but you got real estate agent awards. So those awards nights will be, if that's your day job and you're going for an awards night for a real estate agent, it's a little bit different. You probably will be like the LA United night or the Crows nights maybe, because it's your job. You're winning an award for your job pretty much. But I think you put that well. But the biggest reward of the night was the Volunteer of the Year award this year. Adam Butler, who there's many moments throughout the year that we all love, and we all remember him, but he takes those memories and puts them into an image that we can always look back on, and we love those images. And sometimes you take it for granted, don't you?
100%.
Some of the images he takes, but to see him get recognised on that night, I had the privilege of sitting next to him for the night at the table, and the shock on his face to get that recognition, you could see how honoured he was to take it out that night.
Incredible. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Like he has been taking photos on the side of the pitch forever. Yeah. You know, and like he's just one of many, you know. There's Joe Janko as well. Like he's another one. Like just I was speaking to him on the night, and he was mentioning that he's got photos of like my dad and my uncles, and like he could dig them up, you know. I mean that's how many photos these guys have taken. And he's doing it off his own back.
Yep,
he's a volunteer.
Yeah, I remember him telling me about a photo. This is Joe Janko, about the Aloisi brothers playing together when they were kids.
Yeah, well, there you go. Incredible.
Yeah, so there's some incredible photos out there, and someone like Adam as well, who got recognised for that, is incredible. I know a lot of others get recognised, but the amount of hours he puts out there to go and take these photos, and there's a lot of people out there that didn't win this year as well, but got nominated. The amount of hours, without those people, we wouldn't have be able to do the sport. You wouldn't be able to play. I wouldn't probably be able to commentate if it wasn't for them.
Yep. Like everyone says, they're the heartbeat of the club, aren't they? If there's no volunteers, there's no club, and if there's no club, there's no game. So they're the people that make it work, and you know, like I take my hat off to every single one of them. It's incredible what they do. Absolutely.
And there's a lot of things that go. You got to sacrifice a lot of things as a volunteer, but also as a player, you sacrifice a lot as well, because you are, as you mentioned, you also have full-time jobs on the outside. So it's only a part-time thing. So if something happens on the field, you hurt yourself or injure, it's not a great thing, because it impacts your life outside with your job. Depending on what job you're in, you might not be able to do it to the same capacity. You were at a game the day after your preliminary final on a Saturday. It was the State League 1 preliminary final.
Yep.
Para Hills Knights taking on Modbury Jets. A big game for both clubs. Para Hills Knights were there to win the game to get into the grand final, which they eventually did.
Yeah.
But 12 minutes before the end of the game, a tragic injury happened to the goalkeeper at Para Hills. Your brother was playing at Modbury Jets for that game as well. But I was there commentating that game, and it was something that we haven't seen in this local game for a while, which is something we don't want to see too often. But the goalkeeper for Para Hills, tragic injury, broke his ankle during that game. But one thing that stood out for me, and we mentioned it on the broadcast, is there was about 20 minutes or so before the first ambulance came down there, and then straight after the second one came, and it took about an hour before we were able to get back to the game resuming, just over an hour, I think close to an hour and a half. But the first one on the site to help the young player was yourself. Jumped the fence to help him out. I know your background is you're a physio, but what was that? What drew you to step in and be the first one there to help?
Yeah, like you said, it was traumatic, wasn't it? It was out of nothing. I was just there to watch my brother with my family. You know, obviously, like you said, it was a big game. I wasn't the first to go over. I think the ground steward obviously noticed it first, and the player was Jordan. I know Jordan through my Para Hills days. As he was just a young kid, you know, when I was playing there, and you know, he was a goalkeeper, and he did a bit of extra training and stuff with the seniors here and there. And I know his family quite well. I know his granddad quite well, Ted, and his mum Katie as well. But the ground steward also knew me, and I think he knew that I was a physio. Not that I'm qualified to deal with those traumatic issues anyway, but I thought, you know, I probably could, you know, lend a hand. I probably could, you know, offer some kind of service. Just jumped the fence, and it was traumatic. Yeah, it was, like you said, you don't want it to happen. Really, really sad, but it was just a matter of just trying to keep him calm, as calm as he possibly could, and just keep talking to him, make sure his leg is supported throughout those times before the ambulance comes. So yeah, it was just I don't know. I just felt like you know someone's got to help him. So
being involved in those type of moments, because have you ever had those type of moments or been around that in your time? Was that one of your first that you've been around?
I've been, as a player, I've been in a few big injuries. I remember Ollie Tatani breaking his elbow or something like that. Something like that back then. I remember, a few traumatic injuries over the years, but nothing like that. That was probably the biggest one I've seen. Yeah, the most kind of traumatic one. Yeah,
well, I think it was nice to see someone like yourself to take that time out. You didn't have to, but to be there and support him during that time of waiting.
Yeah.
Was he thankful? Did you ever get to speak to him afterwards, or?
Yeah. Really. He called. He sent me a nice text message, and I spoke to his mum after.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, he's just, you know, if it was me down there, I would hope someone would do the same. Like, it was. I was just happy for him to. He's on the road to recovery now, so he's doing well, so it's all good. Yeah,
he's a nice guy, because I've got the privilege of chatting to him in the grand final afterwards on the broadcast there for NPL TV. But to see someone, a player like yourself that didn't need to, in your day off from playing and also day off from work, to take the time out to help someone, it's what our community is about, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. And it just goes back to what we've been talking about most of the podcast, isn't it, really? Like, we're there because we want to be, and we're there because, you know, we all know each other in some capacity, mostly, you know, if you've been around the game for a while. And at the end of the day, you know, when it's all said and done, you know, you've got these memories with these people. So, I mean, you know, if we can all help each other, why not, you know? So it's all good.
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, they didn't make it to the... they didn't win the grand final, unfortunately, to West Adelaide. So it would have been good to see them in the NPL next year. But your brother, he will be there, and you'll be playing against him next year.
That's right, yeah. He's re-signed for Murray Jets, and he's going again. Yep. You know, Matty's a very busy man at the moment. He's you know, teacher and two little girls at home. So I think it was a bit of a discussion with his wife Leah, my sister-in-law. So I think he's secretly very happy that he's gone again.
Yep. Do you reckon he will last a few more years?
I think so, yeah. I think he will.
He's only, what, 32 or 33, something like that?
He's 33.
Yeah.
Yeah, 33. I reckon he's got another couple of years in him. He loves the game, so, and, you know, football's just a way to stay fit and, you know, stay around socially with people, so,
yeah.
And, you know, I can see him playing.
Yeah. Well, you got the battle of the Mullins now. We got you and your cousin Daniel against your brother Matt next year. So
yeah, just like the backyard, huh?
Yep. So looking forward to that. Hopefully there's no kicking the cock sticks on during those games.
Yeah. No, hopefully no tears and no broken bones, but yeah.
Nah, we're looking forward to 2023 for that instance. But mate, we've talked a lot about your career in soccer and football, and you always mention how it's good to have things like on the outside, and football is only half in the local league. NPL is only half your life because you also got work outside as well. But apart from work, and then football is your second life. You've got a third life as well with your mates and your cousins that you're close with as well, or your family, sorry, that you're close with as well. It's called the Man Picnic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so
yep.
For those in the football community, some are in the know, but some that are not in the know yet, there is a group called the Man Picnic. And it's a group of mates, isn't it? That just get together and drink beer.
Yeah, you've hit you've hit the nail on the head, mate. It's just me, my brother, my cousin Daniel, Willie, Alex Mullen, and Joel Wright. Just a group of really close guys. It was actually through the COVID period where we started it. And it's nothing. Yeah, we couldn't go to a pub basically. So what we did is we just got a deck chair out each, went to, a park and just just drank a few craft beers. And then Joel Wright, he's quite handy with his photos, and he loves editing and stuff. He's made a page on Instagram and that, and it's just become this bit of a thing now that we do every month or month and a half or so. So it's and we just love it, So just us drinking beer in the park, and just rating craft beers here and there. So it's just a bit of fun. It's good.
So but if it wasn't for COVID, then we wouldn't have the Man Picnic.
No, that's right. Yeah, no, we wouldn't. We probably would have just gone to a pub like we usually do.
Yeah. So this was the period where we were locked out. We're closed, forced for lockdown at home, and we're only allowed out for a little period. Is that the period?
It was a period where we couldn't go into like pubs and stuff, and we had to socially distance. It was like a 1.5. I can't even remember what it was, but essentially we could only be in like wide space areas together. More than so many people. So my brother was just like in our group chat. He was just like, boys, let's just catch up in the park. Yeah. Everyone brings 6 beers. So we did it, and the more we drank, we like, as you do, you like come up with ideas and stuff. And it just kind of like it started so small, and it still is pretty small, to be honest. But it's something that we carry on, something that we book into the calendar every so often, which we look forward to. It's good.
Where did the name come from?
It's
very generic.
Yeah, like bunch of 5 guys, having a picnic. I don't know who came up with it, but it just seemed to click.
Well, I liked it when we brought you here on a Friday afternoon for this recording session. You brought some Pirate Life beers as well.
Yep, some Pirate Life. So you got the what is it? South Coast Pale Ale there.
Yep, and I brought my the Pirate Life Lager Italiana. So
there you go. A bit of culture to the old podcast as well.
There we go. So I'm going to open up the Pirate Life, the one you brought.
Yeah,
there you go. Mate. Cheers for that. There we go.
Good on you. Cheers.
First time ever. Drink responsibly, everyone.
That's it.
It's the whole point is learning about people that come to my podcast, that interview, and learning about their background as well. Because everyone's got a life outside of soccer, and it's good to see that this is soccer and friendships brought together, and you've got something completely different altogether.
That's it, yeah. And some stage we're gonna, not be fit enough to run around, but we'll definitely be fit enough to catch up, I think, in a park or whatever. So it's something that we'll try and keep up, and carry on and make sure that's a staple, in our friendships, to all make sure that we stay together and be mates over a few beers. So
absolutely, and we couldn't talk about the Man Picnic without the guest of honour you had on for a bit as well. Matt Mays is from Football South Australia. He's a media manager there.
Yes.
I've done a lot of work with him. People that don't know him, he's the media manager for Adelaide for Football South Australia, and is the man behind a lot of great ideas at the Football South Australia. Or if he's not behind the ideas, he's the man that puts it together from someone else's idea, and he does a really good job at it of promoting the game. But he did a really good job of getting you guys a great beer called the Lout.
The Lout, yep.
Tell me a little bit about the Lout. I know a little bit about it, but
firstly, he was very lucky to get on the Man Picnic. To be frank with you, he put in his application. Willie suggested his name, and I thought, I don't know, we got some good applications, because we have thousands of applications, because we're so big. But yeah, he was his application was strong, and it fitted the criteria, and we in the group chat we decided to go with him. So he got invited along. Obviously good friends with Willie, through the federation and stuff. And he came along. We gave him a nickname. We called him Touch Tackle, or TT, because he plays. Apparently got an award, or the Sunday League something, or whatever.
Didn't he finish top 5 or something in the Sassel
Division
7? I think it was. Yeah.
But gave him the name Touch Tackle, and he came to the Man Picnic, and honestly, blew our minds with what he put together. We couldn't even believe what he had been up to. With
the beer, is that what you're talking about? Or?
Yeah. So basically, everyone brings a 6-pack of craft beer, right? And we go through the beers one by one, and TT, it was his turn, and we all love Peter Crouch, right? We love his. I don't know. He's got a podcast himself.
The Peter Crouch podcast, yeah.
Yeah, really great. Funny, great guy. But he has he's developed his own beer, and it's called a Lout. So it's half lager, half stout, and it's just this funny thing that we put in our group chat and stuff and laugh about. But he somehow managed to get these Lout beers over from England. They don't even sell them in Australia. He flew them over, and he brought 6 of those beers along. So we tried that, and he was doing all this footage with Joel over the day, and he put a video together of the Lao and our Man Picnic. And Peter Crouch ended up putting it on his Twitter.
Yep.
So we were like, what's going on? We're just a couple of mates from Adelaide, drinking beers in the park. And Peter Crouch is retweeting us or whatever he's doing.
It's pretty incredible.
It was unreal, yeah.
I think your video ended up getting over 40,000 views on Twitter as well.
Yeah, I know. So we're gonna retire from soccer and get into it was just funny how things get bigger and bigger.
But how was it when you saw someone like that share it on Twitter?
Yeah, well, I remember showing Emma, my fiance, and she was like, "What is going on?" Because I remember when we first started the page, I was in her ear. I was like, "Emma, 50 likes. We've got 50 followers. Man, Picnic's gonna be huge." And like 2 weeks later, we have 70 or 80. And then this thing happened, and we've got 1,000. I don't even know how many we've got now, but yeah, it's all Joel really. Joel's the one that keeps up with it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we just it's catching up as mates. So that's all it is. So it's just funny.
It's great to see, and I love little side projects like that. It's just a little bit of fun, and it could turn into something big.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe we can do a little bit of a crossover and do a Kicking It Picnic or something.
Kicking It Picnic, there you go. Yeah.
Or picnic local or something. I don't know. We'll work it out.
Yeah, I'll leave that to you, mate.
We'll get together. It's not as good as the word Lout, lager and stout put together.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's fantastic to see Joel. All right, he does some great videos and social media for you guys as well. So
yeah, he's top level. Joel, all right. One of the best players, but great bloke. He's my him and Daniel are my Thursday stout after training partners. So yeah. Good guy.
Fantastic. And we all love the content you guys put out on social media. It's actually made me realise some of the beers that are out there and drinks that we can get into. We should do one with the best non-alcoholic beers as well, maybe.
There you go. Yeah, maybe.
I've tried the Big Shed one. That actually tastes like beer, but it's got no alcohol. It's perfect.
Well, there you go. But the problem is we like the alcohol part of it, so it wouldn't be a Man Picnic without the proper alcohol.
That's fair enough. But now let's go. It's been a great chat talking to you, Alex. I've really enjoyed the insight to your career and also what it's like coming up in a family of Mullens. So big name in South Australia, and I'm sure there's going to be more big names to come from the family soon. With hopefully your nieces become football stars as well eventually.
Yeah, we'll see. Whatever they want to do, no pressure on them. Just whatever they want to get into, then we'll see.
But hopefully got a new generation of Mullens to come through as well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, hopefully.
But before we end it all up, you're probably across this already, but kicking it questions, it's going to be a bit hard, one of them, because you already do that on a monthly basis with the man picnic. But the first one, let's get into that one. Who would you love to kick it with on the park? Anyone in the world?
Kicking it on the park. Anyone in the world? I'm going to go a little bit different here. I'm going to go Juninho Paulista.
Okay.
And I'll explain why. Because I was listening to the podcast on the way here to make sure. I knew you asked questions at the end. Juninho Paulista. So my family all come from Middlesbrough. So he was a Brazilian from Sao Paulo. And he signed with Middlesbrough. And he was 5'4" or 5'5", and I just remember watching him as a kid, and he was just a magician. So I would love to actually, have a juggle or just kind of have a chat with him. To be honest, he actually played in the A-League for 1 year for Sydney FC. I think he was like 35 or 36, or really a lot older. But yeah, he was a player that I have vivid memories of watching, getting up, all hours of the morning to watch just him. Play for Middlesbrough. So yeah, it'd probably be him, to be honest.
Nice, that's a good choice. And then the second one is, who would you love to kick it with on a Saturday night, watch some football with, maybe have a couple of drinks, and be anyone. Maybe Peter Crouch.
Peter Crouch.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I think my brother would be, can I have a couple or?
Do whatever you want. Oh, you a couple of people. Yeah, you can go choose, whatever.
I think Matty, I think my brother, to be honest. Yeah, probably be my brother, but the other one I thought of with this question was, I don't know if you over this, but have you heard of Ned Brockman?
Oh,
yeah. So it's just only recent actually, but over the last 40 days, he's run from.
Oh yes.
He's run from Perth, like Cottesloe Beach, to all the way across the country, across the Nullarbor to Bondi in Sydney, doing like 80, 100 kilometers a day. And I don't know. Every day I've just checked his Instagram page every single day, just so inspired by this fella. Like, just a top guy. It would probably be him, to be honest. Yeah.
Do you reckon he'll be into some football as well?
I think he's actually into footy. I think, but
doesn't matter.
It's not even about the sport, is it? It's just about the guy. Like, he's raising money for.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
And yeah, he's putting his body through hell. Yeah. So. He'd be one, just to kind of just pick his brain a bit, really. Yeah,
that's fantastic. Love people like that do that. I think even in the footy world, I think it was Kane Corns did it recently as well.
That's right. Yeah.
South Australian. So it's fantastic. I think even Tommy Little did the swim across from France or something to another country.
The channel, yeah.
Yeah, so the first time I think he got stopped by the border security at one point, so he had to go back and do it again. But it's great when people do things like that for charity, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It just shows that they're more than just their sport, or more than just their job. They care about certain things, and they're willing to put their body on the line to do these crazy things. I think it's great. Yeah, absolutely. And mate, it's a pleasure chatting to you. It's been a great episode, a couple of episodes talking to you about your career, your family, your outside life with some mates, and all the bits in between, and your football career as well. And I think you're only 30 years old, aren't you? Yeah, 30. Yeah. So you've still got a few more years ahead of you. Yeah. I think hopefully, Johnny. Yeah. Look, mate, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's nice on a Friday night to sit back and have a chat over a beer talking football. So appreciate what you do for the community. Thank you so much, mate. I absolutely love it. People like yourself and all the other guests I've had has been a pleasure to chat to, and we'll speak soon. Absolutely, mate. Good on you. That was the Sergio Medalist winner for 2022 and Campbelltown City's Alex Mullen. Make sure you subscribe to Kicking It Local wherever you get your podcasts so you can get a taste of the SA football community. Plus, follow Kicking It Local SA on Instagram and Twitter so you don't miss any of the action. See you soon.